Good morning, Louis. How big are these two games against Liverpool, and the fact that they're an opposition that you know and have beaten, does that make it more easier, more difficult than perhaps a traditional European opponent?
You have to win in both cases, I think. So there's no difference. Although Liverpool, Manchester United is always a big game, traditionally, I think. Historical, and now especially because both teams fight for a Champions League position. So it's a big game for both sides, I think.
Louis, you could be the first Manchester United manager in history to win 5 consecutive matches against Liverpool in this country. So I just wonder how you would feel about creating such history with this football club.
Now, then I'm also in the books with a positive record, so it should be fine, I think.
Louis, with this and with the amount of games that you have, how tempted are you to make changes? And obviously you've had young players featuring so strongly, but with it being a game against Liverpool, so important not to lose regardless of whatever competition you're in.
Again.
You have so many young players that have been featuring, and with so many games in such a short period of time, how important is it to make those changes but still play as strong a team as possible, because it's Liverpool and you cannot lose against Liverpool?
But now I do understand the question. You don't have to forget that I shall always make my lineup, in my eyes, as the strongest lineup to play against the opponent. Nevertheless, I put sometimes youngsters in the lineup, but then I think it's the best solution. And of course, I have to cope also with the busy schedule. So sometimes I spare players, I rotate because of that. But then still it is the best team because the other player with whom I have to compare, a youngster, is very tired, for example.
Louis, how's your injuries list at the moment? How's Jones, Valencia and Borthwick Jackson, for example?
Yeah, Valencia is coming back. Schweinsteiger is coming back. I think a lot of players shall come back in the month of March. But when they come back, it is not so easy to decide if they can cope with the rhythm of a match. Because they are fit to train with us. But, for example, Schweinsteiger has only 1 training session with us behind his back. And Valencia has a week. So Valencia is much more closer to be on the bench, for example. But not to play a match. That's different.
Could any new players be available to you tomorrow then, from the West Brom match?
I don't think so, but Valencia is, of course, fit enough to be on the bench. But to play 90 minutes, I don't think so.
Louis, you've been involved in many derbies in different countries. How have you found the Liverpool match, and also the reaction from the fans to you after winning against Liverpool?
Yeah, I think football in England is very deep in the life of the people. Of course, I have noticed that also in Spain and in Germany, but that was less so deep as here. So it's fantastic to see that. That's also one aspect why I want to come here, to have that experience. But it is also sometimes what I can see too much. But I like it to see, because you can see the heart of the club and also the feeling that they are with you every game. So that's nice for the players, I think, but also nice for the manager.
Particularly the Liverpool game, have you noticed that as an extra level to other games you've played here?
Yeah, but not all the people are like that. But several people are thinking they are the enemy. But I'm not thinking like that. I'm thinking like they are an opponent, and a lot of fans wants to beat the opponent.
Louis, Jurgen Klopp said when the draw was made that United was the team he wanted to play. I don't know whether it was mind games or what. What's your view? Would you prefer to play Liverpool now or later in the competition?
I cannot hear you, the sound.
Jurgen Klopp said that United was the team that he wanted to get in the draw. Would you agree with that, or did you want to get them later in the draw?
No, I think when you play in the EuroLeague, I think it is more likely to play against other league clubs, so from other countries, because that's why EuroLeague has been created, and now we play against the same teams. What we normally play in the Premier League. So, but it's also a signal that the Premier League is strong, because several clubs are still playing in the EuroLeague. But yeah, it could be that we play in 2 weeks 4 times against Liverpool. We play also the FA Cup, for example. It could be that Liverpool also was in the FA Cup. I don't think that's normal.
And why do you think you've got such a good record against them? You've beaten them actually 5 times with that International Champions Cup final win.
When you are writing that, then it is much more difficult for my players to win the 5th battle against them. So don't write it.
Louis, what does it say? What does it say about the current status and position of Manchester United and Liverpool, the 2 most successful clubs in England, 8 European Cups between them, but they are playing in the Europa League now? What does it say about the position of both clubs at the moment and the current state, that you're not in the top competition?
Yeah, but other teams are playing in the Champions League. So you are talking about Manchester United and Liverpool, and we are happy to play in the EuroLeague. But City, Chelsea and Arsenal are playing in the Champions League still. So 6 clubs are representing the Premier League. You have to be very proud of that, because not much countries has so many clubs participating at that high level.
Does it show that the clubs, though, Liverpool and Manchester United, have fallen? Because people would regard Liverpool and Manchester United as the biggest 2 English teams, but they're both playing in the Europa League.
Yeah, but in football it's normal. It is not normal that one team is dominating for 20 years in a row the champion.
Liverpool and Manchester United did that.
Oh yeah, how many titles has Liverpool and how many titles has Manchester United?
For 20 years before Manchester United.
Yeah, it was another time. You live in the past. You live in the past, and you have to live in the present, I think.
Louis, you've managed in Spain, in the Netherlands and Germany. What's the difference between the perception of the Europa League in those countries compared to this? Because we generally are perceived to have a negative view of the competition.
Yeah, I noticed that you have a negative view. But you have noticed that against Midtjylland, there were how many fans, I think? You can... you
58,000.
Huh?
58,000.
58,000 fans. So the fans of Manchester United are appreciating. And what do you think, how many fans we have against Liverpool? I think, again, 75. And I think also that Liverpool has been sold out. So that's what I have to say. It's very important. It is very important for both teams. And the fans are liking to see the duel between us.
Question for Chris. This competition, as we just heard, is much derided, but is this the kind of clash and encounter that it needs, I mean, between two such huge clubs?
Yeah, I think it is. No matter whether it's the league, the cup, it's a game that we all look forward to, and I think, especially the disappointment of Sunday, I think this is the game that all of us players are looking forward to, and one way you need to stand up and be counted.
Chris, when it's the game that the fans don't like each other and perhaps the players don't when you're on the pitch, how much does it help to have a manager who's perhaps more detached and doesn't get involved in the passion? He said Liverpool aren't his enemy. How much does that approach help in the dressing room when there's so much passion about this game?
Yeah, I think it's good that obviously the manager sees it from a tactical viewpoint, and we work on the training pitch and before the game on our tactics, so we don't get all caught up in the occasion. But when you step over that white line, I think the emotion is what drives you on and hopefully brings out a better performance.
Is it possible to describe what they are like to play in these games?
I think quite often in these games, the first 20 minutes are often quite frantic, but they're one that you want to get the upper hand on your opponent or whoever you're playing against. Say, for example, me, the striker, very early on, get an early challenge in and hopefully dominate. But they're games that us players look forward to, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
And Louis, at the start, I know you joked it was nice to have a positive start, but what would it mean to be the first manager in Manchester United history to get that 5 on the trot?
Yeah. It's for me. I want to win every game, and when I lose, I'm very disappointed. And you can see that my body language is very expressive, I think. So it's curious that Manchester United has beaten Liverpool so many times in my period. That's curious, because I have lost also matches against other opponents and not against Liverpool. But I think it's also good for me, because when I beat teams like Liverpool, then the appreciation is higher and bigger of the fans. So I hope we shall beat Liverpool for the 5th time and for the 6th time also. But more for the fans than for myself. Because what I already have said, I want to win every game. And we prepare ourselves to beat the opponent. And it is not dependable of your opponent is Liverpool or West Bromwich Albion that we lost now. It's also a big deception for us that we have lost against West Bromwich Albion. But when we win against Liverpool, I'm very happy. But not more happy than I could have won against West Bromwich Albion, for me.
Chris, you were part of the squad 2 years ago that didn't qualify for the Champions League, which was a big blow at the time. Mm-hmm. I guess you didn't think that 2 years later you would be in a position where you may not qualify for the Champions League again. Would that disappointment, if it did happen, would that be felt very personally by the players?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it was the first time, and we've still got a lot of games to play in the league, and obviously another route in the Europa League. to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I think we're all striving forward and looking forward and making sure that doesn't happen for a second time.
Louis, Daley Blind said that Manchester United's players must show they want this more than Liverpool. Do you feel that that's what it will come down to? Who wants it more and showing that desire to win?
I think that's always like that. In every game, you have to show that you want more than your opponent. And that's also an obligation, I think. But it is difficult because you have to prepare yourself that you deliver at the moment that it is that time that you have to play the game, that you are better than your opponent, that you want more to win this game than your opponent. And that's why I say to my players always that the preparation is starting already one day ago. And you have to imagine the game already and that kind of things. And you cannot be only focusing on the moment that the game is starting. So it's a process, and we are helping, my staff and I, with that preparation and imagination by meetings, individual meetings, team meetings, training sessions, and so on. But at the time that they have to deliver, they have the most difficult task from everybody, because the players have to deliver at a certain time against resistance the best what they can. And that's not so easy.
Okay, last question.
Louis, you mentioned before that to you it's about winning every game, so you're not happy you don't beat West Brom, so it would be the same to beat West Brom as to beat Liverpool. But do you not think that if you do beat Liverpool, the effect that would have on the supporters and on the mood around the place in general would have a huge impact, just like a Marcus Rashford coming on the scene and scoring so many goals? Do you not see that that would be a massive boost for everybody?
I have explained that. I have explained that for the fans, for the environment is that a bigger something. But for me, no. We have to win every game, and that's my aim. And when we win against West Bromwich Albion, I'm very pleased. But when we lose, and we have lost, then I'm very disappointed. And then I can be, as a manager, show the same disappointment as against that we lost against Arsenal, for example, 3-0. But against Arsenal, as a manager and of the team, I can imagine, because I think Arsenal has certain qualities more than West Bromwich Albion. And then I'm not, less disappointed. And Liverpool has also a very good team. It's very difficult to beat. Have high-level players. Play like a team. Because Klopp is the trainer and he makes them play like a team. So it is more difficult to beat Liverpool, I think. Do you understand why I'm sometimes more disappointed and sometimes less disappointed? And sometimes we have played a great match, but we were unlucky. And then you cannot win a game. Or the referee is deciding the match. It's also possible in football. And then I can be less disappointed.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. If the written press want to go over and work in the press room, photographers and cameras can stay here. However, we are setting up for another event.
Who I am? Now?
Yeah.